pranic healing, inner peace, better relationships, spiritual connection, health, balance, harmony, joy, love. Welcome to the podcast of How Pranic Healing Changed My Life. I'm your host, Nicole Fouche, and this podcast shares the many benefits of pranic healing and how people's lives have changed for the better after becoming involved in this revolutionary healing modality. We will share testimonials from people who have experienced the multiple benefits of pranic healing and how they have integrated the teachings into their lives. This relaxed platform shares the raw, authentic, heartfelt stories and the miracles that have unfolded. I hope these stories inspire you. So welcome to the next episode of our podcast, How Pranic Healing Changed My Life. Today I have Laura Surya with me, who I'm very excited to hear her story because I've heard little tidbits of it, but I don't know how all the pieces fit together and how she got to where she is right now exactly. So I'm learning for the first time. The one thing that we found out with these podcasts is just how inspirational people's stories are, the weird and wonderful ways that people find pranic healing, but ultimately I always believe there's a divine guidance that's kind of steering us in the direction that we need at the time that we need and to the pranic healers that we need. So welcome, Laura. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I think let's dive right in. How and when did you get involved with pranic healing? Like, what were you looking for? What were you searching for? How did that unfold in your life?
Well, it unfolded because my daughter was sick, and we were struggling to find different alternative ways to see how she could get better. When she struggled with her health, we went to the traditional method and medicine was failing her. So we turned to a holistic approach. And back in 2015, I started seeing a practitioner in St. Louis. And with our practitioner, he was waving his hands and I didn't know what he was doing. And I said, "What are you doing?" And he explained it to me and he said, "Come to my class, an introduction class." So we both went and it was amazing. And so that is kind of how I got into healing, is to help others. And I seen the benefits that it was doing for my daughter, Isabel.
Fantastic, fantastic. So I'm assuming from that intro class, you then ended up taking the pranic healing workshops, right?
I did. Actually, I did. And we ended up going 2 introductions. I went by myself, and then Isabel went again with me, and she brought a friend. And I'll never forget it. We were in the back of the car, and she's like, "Mom, I can feel this energy between my hands. Can you feel it?" I said, "I can feel it. I can feel it." So it was really neat to see her light up, to see that someone is there to help her, and knowing that it was helping her.
That's incredible. And I know that exact feeling of when you finish that class and you've suddenly experienced the world of energy and you can feel it and you can see it. And it's like, how did I not know this my whole life? And I often say to my students when they finish their level 1 class, I always say to them, put a 1-year reminder in your calendar of your first basic pranic healing class and just see the miracles that unfold over that year by being involved with the teachings. And everybody just gets so excited. They're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how things have changed in such a short amount of time. So maybe you can just elaborate on what was that journey like for you once you started the classes? How did things unfold for you? What were the miracles that happened in your life?
Well, as we were going through the process, it was back in 2015. I took the first basic level class, and then about a year later, I took another class, the advanced class. So I did it slowly. And one of the things that I was finding is that I had to continue working on her on a continuous basis. And the practitioner that was helping me, he would help me guide along to help her. As we were working together to help her aura, to keep her connected, I felt like our energy and our bond got stronger and stronger. I would come home and practice, and people would want to know, well, what's going on? Well, well, what are you doing different? They could feel a difference. They seen a difference. And it hasn't been all that long ago. Things have changed dramatically since then, and the healing basically pretty well saved my life after her passing. And through that healing, I was able to heal myself, knowing what energy can do.
That's incredible. That's incredible. And I know I've spoken with a number of different people going through the grief process and going through the process of losing a child, which I can't even imagine
Mhm.
that process. And literally everybody has said, like, pranic healing actually saved my life. It gave me something to focus on, and it helped alleviate some of that pain and that grief. I'm assuming it did that for you because you
It
see
did.
things phenomenally well.
And one of the things is, if I didn't understand energy, I would have gone to the hospital multiple times thinking I was having a heart attack. So it was very heavy on my heart. And now when I work with people, if the energy will just sit on your heart and just sit there, and it just really feels like something's heavy on your chest, and you will feel an aching, knowing to spread that energy, to move that energy. And with meditation, was the twin heart meditation that I did constantly. I would put my earphones in, and I would just listen and listen over and over. It could be 2 or 3 times, just to relieve that pain and that heaviness. And then I would do some cleaning, cleaning of the chakra, knowing to clean it, clean it, clean it. And it helped. And I would say, turn to my husband and said, it's gone. The pain is gone. The pain is gone.
And I've
And I
seen
can breathe.
clients when they've gone through an incredible grief, it does actually feel like there's a heavy weight, a heavy pressure, almost like a crushing pressure on your chest, which is that grief, that hurt, that pain, that physical heartache that you're experiencing. And being able to, one, understand where it's coming from, and number two, to have the tools to be able to process that and remove that and alleviate that. I mean, that's incredibly empowering. But at a critical point in your life like that, I mean, that really is a lifeline for somebody.
It is a lifeline. In fact, I was going to grief counseling at our church, and many of them asked me, how are you getting through this? And I told them, meditation, you need to meditate, you need to work on your own vibration, raise your energy, raise your consciousness, just continue working on yourself as well, and you will start feeling better. And so I ended up being one of the people that would speak almost all the time during the grief session, because they seen the difference that it was doing for me in a short amount of time. I mean, we're talking 3 to 4 weeks. I actually was already in Orlando doing. I was asked to speak on suicide awareness at the Arts and Endowment. So I needed to do something quickly, and I can say that it's saved my life.
That's amazing. And I'm sure you've even seen the ripple effects into your family, because one thing I do know is when there is a significant loss in a family, that more than anything else can really tear a family apart. And your family seems to have become even closer and more supportive and more integrated in this healing modality. I don't know if you want to elaborate on that.
Yes. In fact, my son was 13 when she passed, and she was 18 when she passed away. And my son is 18 at the time, and he actually went through level 1 pranic healing not too long ago, I think back in November, and he really enjoys it. He enjoys helping others. He enjoys stepping up and taking charge. Kind of, it's like he's a whole different kid. And when he's seen that what I do and seen how I've moved forward and how I've helped other families and my husband as well and my parents as well through all the classes I've taken, we talked about forgiveness and things that had happened to her. I have incorporated that into our family lifestyle and have to continuously reminding them to not hold a grudge and why we don't do this and how we can forgive and not forget. We don't have to forget, but how we can forgive those who had hurt her. And through that process, my son has learned, okay, this is doable. We can do this, and now we can turn our grief into helping others. And that is what he has decided to do at this particular time.
That is incredible. I mean, that truly, it's actually given me chills. And there's two things that stand out for me with what you've said is you've taken the teachings of pranic healing and you've actually made them part of your life in terms of just getting through the daily things that happen. It feels like it's become a part of who you are and who your family is. The second thing that stood out for me very clearly is the forgiveness. And with a
Mhm.
lot of complex cases that I work with, the forgiveness is absolutely vital for the recovery process, for the healing process, because when you're holding on to that anger, you're holding on to that resentment, you're holding on to that negativity, it's actually creating dis-ease in your system. And having tools to be able to release that, even after the most awful things may have been done to you or to your family, and to be able to work through that is
Mhm.
just such an incredible tool to have, because the forgiveness really, really is key.
Correct. And we've been doing a lot of different things as we go through this. But one of the things is teaching all the other ones that possibly had hurt her, she became friends with at the last minute, and Isabel was forgiving those at the last minute. So it was kind of a sign to me that she kind of already knew what was going to go on, and being able to be aware of different signs is a little more comforting to me, knowing that energy and the afterlife and what's going on the other side, that she's okay, she's fine, she's doing what she needs to do, and she helps others on the other side, and we can communicate back and forth. One of the things is when I work with her, I will call upon her, and one of the things she will say is, I'm here, I can hear her in energy form, but my pranic healing has become so much stronger and so much more vital in my way of life that it's overflowing since I've met you. Actually, so it's been since November. It's of overflowing in my classrooms. It's of overflowing in the people that I walk into, walk with, at the healing center. People have never had healing before. They're like, wow, I've never done this, but this is incredible. Can you tell me more about this? So a lot
That
of people don't know my story. And when they find out the story, they're like, wow, let's move forward and figure out this is obviously working.
And I think your story is very unique and so inspirational, because not many people have experienced what you've experienced. and to be able to just look at you and say, wow, she got through that, and look at how awesome she is right now, and you're living your life, you're moving forward. It serves as an inspiration for others to say, you know what, you can do it as well. You know, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is a purpose. There is a path forward. And I think you've set up a foundation or an organization to help others. Do you want to just share some of that? Because I think that is just something just that has to be shared.
Well, on her 18th birthday, Isabel always wanted a tattoo. And on her 18th birthday, she decided to get a tattoo on the middle of her back. And the tattoo was "From Pain Comes Strength." And she had passed away 14 days later. I personally have never seen the tattoo, but I had a picture of it. And when we were setting up her foundation, I was with a bunch of friends, and it finally dawned on us, it's her tattoo she wants their foundation. So that's how the name came about, in honoring of her, but not just honoring of her, it's honoring of all those who are in pain. So from pain comes strength. You have pain, and how are you going to move forward with that pain to find your strength? So, and to learn to love yourself again. So that's one of the things that we really focus on, is finding the way to love yourself again. And when you love yourself again, things just flow a little easier for you. Your energy flows a little easier. Life is a little easier for you. You can breathe.
It's amazing, 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 amazing. So if I had to say to you, if there was just one person listening to this podcast that needed to hear a message from you or from Isabel, that was just feeling lost and in despair, like, what would your message to that person be?
The message would be, is you have a purpose here on this earth. And this purpose is to find yourself and look for somebody to help you. There's other people that is in your shoes, and we can help you. This foundation, Pranic Healing Foundation, there's always somebody there that can help you. You are never alone. You don't walk this path alone. We're here together. We're here to help each other.
And that's just fantastic. Again, you gave me the goosebumps again. That's one thing I can say in general of pranic healers. It's such a heart-based system of healing. And to be in a room of pranic healers, if something happens, the first thing that everybody wants to do is just help. And from I've got strangers walking in the door that literally feel like they're at home within 5 minutes of being in our space. And I think that's just something that's cultivated within the system, that there's good people wanting to make a difference in the world, wanting to help. And when I look at our teacher, his great mission with setting up pranic healing was to alleviate the suffering of mankind. And through his tools, through his teachings, one person at a time, we're changing lives, we're making a difference, and we're alleviating that pain and suffering. And as you know, as a parent that's lost a child, there's pain, there's suffering, there's trauma, there's grief, there's a multitude of different emotions going on. And to be able to relieve some of that and move forward with your life with even more purpose and even more focus on helping others, that is what our great teacher has given us through pranic healing. And I'm just so grateful that I'm on this path, and I'm grateful that on this path I got to meet you and share your story. And I just see great things coming your way on your pranic healing journey. So thank you.
Thank you.
It's been wonderful chatting with you, Laura, and I think I'm going to see you fairly soon for your next class.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm so grateful to have met you and to go to Tampa to meet all of the healers up there. And I will be up there in February.
Fantastic. Well, much love to you and to your family. And I'm sure there's somebody out there that's listening to you that's going to reach out for help. And I'm just so grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.